Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Prodigy Racing Network, home of the Dualshock Racing Association, and today the home to the Ally 400 in Michigan International Speedway here in the beautiful Irish Hills of Brooklyn, Michigan. Today's race is going to be an incredible one here as you got beautiful Nikocado Avocado over there on the back straightaway. Which is that's nightmare fuel, I'm going to be honest. Take a look at your standings heading into today's race while we have enough time. Victor Delgado is currently your points leader by 100. Now, this is the penultimate round of the DSRA season, so right now your championship is pretty much out of reach. So without further ado, we are... Aw, that's cute. that was cute. I like that. That was super cute. Well, you know the drill by now. The DSRA really hasn't changed at all. Arya Carmona and Flandre Wilson will be leading us to the green here. Today's race will be 40 laps long. That is about approximately 80 miles of racing here around Michigan International Speedway. So prepare for chaos. Remember, we will have the restart attempts if everything goes south here on this initial race start. 40 laps for 80 miles here across this 2-mile D-shaped oval in the Irish Hills. Got a bit of a small-ish entry list today. About 9 or so cars coming into the Geico restart zone here. Arya Carmona on the inside, green flag in the air here from Michigan. It's the Ally 400, the DSRA on the Prodigy Racing Network. Here comes Oriarte down the inside, 3 wide for first place, and a hectic start to the race. 3 wide for about third. Oh, Oriarte loose! Arya Carmona loose! Hard into the wall. There goes your Watkins Glen winner, William Viola. Carl Childress on his roof. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Nico Servideo and Carl Childress continues to roll. Soup Ricer is around. So is Jonathan Salos. And we are going to restart this race. Oh my goodness. I better start recording for the highlight reel. Hopefully that doesn't use up too much of my CPU. Which I hope it doesn't. I would hope. Gonna make some highlights out of this. That goes for all of our streams other than the Budweiser All-Star Series. We're not going to do that until Season 3. But we are going to start making highlights, kind of like NASCAR does, from most of the races that we broadcast. I say most because we're not including the offline series just yet. But you'll be able to watch highlight if you can't be bothered to look at the full race from SCRAL, DSRA, MCRL, or IFAR, we will post that. We'll post highlights, maybe extended highlight. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. All I know is that we're doing individual highlights. Think back to that Rockingham race where we posted some highlights, but yeah, expect to see that. It will also help us get a little bit more reach for the DSRA, I would hope. Highlights are a good way to show the few good moments of this DSRA clown show, which Dual probably did not appreciate me calling it on Twitter. So Flandre Wilson on the outside, Arya Carmona on the inside, row 2, George Oriarte and Soup Ricer, William Viola, and I would assume Nico Servideo in row 3 if they can get lined up. And then you got Jonathan Salos and Victor Delgado, your current points leader, in the back here. Coming into the Geico restart. So green flag back in the air. They're wrecking again. Oh my goodness. They cannot. Up. There goes your second attempt here. So we might be restarting this race again. Victor Delgado, George Oriarte, William Viola, and Nico Servideo involved in a pretty big wreck there. And we will be forced to restart our final attempt, I would assume, here in this race. So we are getting ready for the third attempt. This will be the final attempt. Similar to IFAR and MCORL, they will get 3 attempts at a race start. If they wreck on this one, I guess we're just going to throw the caution. So just bear with us for a little bit while everybody loads in. There are, excluding me and Kyle, there are 9 drivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Yep, there are 9 drivers. So this is a pretty small field, especially for DSR8, where we usually get like 11 or 12 at the least. I think Nikocado Avocado's fat ass is distracting the drivers, and I think that's what's causing all these wrecks. Because there's 2 of him on the tri-oval. When they come by, we're going to try and get a view from the tri-oval here if we can. Go into spectator mode. And you might be able to see Nikocado Avocado's MIP file there somewhere. So once again, Arya Carmona and Flandre Wilson on the outside. Literally nothing has changed. Here we are, coming into the restart zone for one final attempt here. This is going to be the one that is going to get this race started no matter what happens. Coming into the Geico restart zone, past the Nikocado Avocado, and we are green here in Michigan. Here in the Jerry Car version of the Michigan International Speedway. Side by side coming into turn 1. It's a very clean start here compared to the last couple ones. We do have 3 wide toward the back. They're trying to get 3 wide for third place here. Flandre Wilson battling Arya Carmona. Carmona gets a little bit out of shape there. Onto the back straightaway here, looking to complete the first lap of the race. Arya Carmona alongside there on the bottom. Here they come up into the grip compound there. Into the wall goes Oriarde. And they will finally be able to complete lap number 1 here in the Ally 400. And the car that is probably funded by the Saudis is currently leading this race. The Cognizant Aston Martin Saudi Aramco Chevrolet. Here she comes, Chevy versus Chevy. Flandre Wilson on the bottom. Number 1 car of Arya Carmona, side by side. Scotland versus US here. And that is going to basically solve itself as Carmona will keep the position going into the tri-oval. And now here comes William Viola, the Watkins Glen winner. And now here comes Soupricer in a brand new car. And his infamous Dodge Charged. Now he's looking to get himself up into the top 3, but he's got to deal with William Viola and Flandre Wilson. We do see that Flandre does not really have the best luck on these long runs, except if you're at Rockingham. Then you just get wrecked by Phil Parker on the final lap. That still pissed me off. But side by side, William Viola and Flandre Wilson, pretty much the only battle other than Carl Childress and Jonathan Salas, but nobody cares about Carl. William Viola, right now, the only Ford. He's breaking that Chevrolet streak here in the top 3. Now, here comes on the bottom, Flandre Wilson using it to her advantage. And this has just been an absolutely fiery start to the race so far for both these ladies. Here comes the 23, down to the bottom. She's got the one right where she wants him going through turn 3 and 4. I gotta catch my breath. Right there on the back bumper of the 1. I did not mean to get back into the TV camera, but that's okay. Coming out of the tri-oval, Michigan, I like to call this track the place where underdogs get victories, because if you think about it, Kyle Larson won here. Daniel Suarez had an Xfinity win here as well. I think that was his first win. That was back in 2016, the NASCAR Xfinity. It feels like every single time there's a first-time winner here at Michigan. Here comes the 23 down to the bottom. Flandre Wilson. William Viola might try to take a 3 wide. Here they come in through the tri-oval. 3 wide for the lead. William Viola on the bottom. Flandre Wilson middle. Arya Carmona on the top. 35 laps to go. This is not even close to being over. Michigan. I mean, technically this track is listed as a super speedway. Normally it doesn't really race like it. These guys are racing it like a true Daytona-esque super speedway. Here comes Viola on the bottom, violating the 23 there as he goes to the bottom. Now he's going to get below the line a little bit. That's going to kill his momentum. Carmona continuing to lead. Carl Childress surprisingly up into the top 5, but he's got to deal with Jonathan Salos. 3 wide for second place there with Supericer on the bottom. Viola will move to the top side by side now for second place. Viola will slip into 4th place. Supericer slips up right in front of him. A little bit of contact there as they will battle it out for 3rd place. Jonathan Salos still trying to battle with Carl Childress. This is the battle for 5th. That might give way for Nico Servideo to get himself into the mix here. Now Jonathan Salos could be battling for 3rd here. He's managed to fend off Carl for now. Supericer up into the grip compound. Not quite sure if that actually does anything or if that's just a MIP file, but right now it's seems to have affected Supericer. Now William Viola will continue to hold on to 3rd place. Jonathan Salos will move up to 4th place. Carl Childress might get the top 5 after all. However, Nico Servideo is on the attack right now. Oh, Arya Carmona's got problems! Flandre Wilson will move into 1st place now. Let's take a look at what happened to that number 1 car. Oh, that's just a classic case of, oh man. She and William Viola also got up into the wall there. He manages to keep his pace for the most part. So Arya Carmona will move into 3rd or 4th place. George Oriarte is out of the race due to an accident. We will take a look at that under caution if there is one. So far, almost a 4th of the way through the race, there's not been any yellows yet. Carl Childress battling with Supericer. Number 88 car was up into the top 5. Now he has to deal with the 69. William Viola looking to go back-to-back here in the DSRA. Arya Carmona and Supericer side by side entering the tri-oval. Nico Servideo, just as I predicted, moving his way up here close to the top 5. If he can get past Carl and Arya right now. Oh, contact! Carl Childress and Arya Carmona on the top side. They'll keep it green here, but that was a little bit of contact there that Arya probably did not appreciate. 31 laps to go here in Brooklyn. And Flandre Wilson, she has led on so many of these tri-ovals, it's not even funny. This is kind of, I like to think that this is a bigger version of Rockingham. About double the size of Rockingham. She kind of does take kindly to these tri-ovals, to these D-shaped ovals. I kind of like and kind of admire how she drives them. Right now she's having a lot of trouble, though, with Jonathan Salos and William Viola right now. That 23, though, should be able to bounce back. And here comes the Mopar power in that Rocket League Dodge. Jonathan Salos moves his way into 2nd place. Supericer and Nico Servideo will round out top 5. Carl Childress still battling with Arya Carmona. He hasn't had enough of that number 1 car in the Aston Martin Chevrolet. And here she is now moving down in the middle. Victor Delgado, that's your points leader in that Melling Dodge Charger right there, dealing with Carl Childress. And it looks like that long run speed is starting to fizzle out on that 88 car. And here comes William Viola, still in the lead here, trying to battle with Jonathan Salos, trying to fend him off as best he can. Ow. Popped something in my neck. You could basically just barely slip a credit card in between these two here. 71 car moving to the bottom a little bit, trying to get a little bit of extra speed out of his Ford. Flandre Wilson might have the draft here. Right now, she is looking pretty promising here. She has a pretty good run on the back straightaway, pushes the 4 of Jonathan Salos just a little bit. They'll be side by side going through turn 3 and 4. And a pretty interesting view here. I gotta say, this track has a pretty good spectator view. Jonathan Salos in the middle here. William Viola still sticking to the top, or still sticking to the bottom, sorry. And I like to think Michigan's a kind of a dynamic racetrack here. These guys can pretty much go anywhere they'd like to. Remember, 8 cars in this race here. There's unfortunately not very many people in the field tonight. I almost wanted to say that was George Oriarte, but that is actually Flandre Wilson in the 23 Chevy. I'm sorry, the Jeff Gordon / Hendrick Motorsports font Chevrolet white on black. You've got to give me a little bit of slack there. Salos still holding on strong. Nico Servideo trying to chase down Soup Ricer for 4th place here. Soup Ricer gets bent out of shape a little bit there off the corner exit of 2. Now entering turn number 3. Will he have a run here on the bottom? And it looks like Soup Ricer might actually have the edge there, exiting turn 4 and going into the tri-oval. Not really any battles to speak of here as we have finished the first 15 laps of the race. We are coming close to the halfway mark here in Michigan. They're pretty much spread out here. Not exactly Formula One style spread out. They're still relatively close, but not really any side-by-side battles really to speak of. Victor Delgado wants to get involved in a battle with Arya Carmona here, but that's pretty much about it. Now, Jonathan Salos might actually have a run here going into the halfway mark. That number 4 car, that's a car that we need to really pay attention to here. That Rocket League car, well, I don't really have anything Rocket League related to say there, but here comes Flandre Wilson. Soup Ricer into the wall. This is going to open up an opportunity for Nico Servideo to make a move. Flandre Wilson trying to find any opportunity she can to dip to the bottom. Salos goes to block there, following the 71 through the corner. Flandre Wilson looks like she has a bit of a run here, side by side with Soup Ricer and Nico Servideo. And Servideo will grab the 4th place spot away from Soup Ricer here as we have about 23 laps to go. And Jonathan Salos continuing to ever so slightly creep up on that 71, but William Viola probably the fastest in the field. I'm just being completely honest here. William Viola has pretty much solidified himself as a favorite to win week in and week out every time he straps up and starts a race here. But right now, this guy is pretty much looking at leading the most laps so far. But right now, Jonathan Salos has given him so much of an issue that Flandre Wilson and Nico Servideo are starting to kind of feed off of that. They're both trying to pass the 71 and the 4 here. About 3.5 miles to go until the halfway mark. And William Viola continues to hold on here. Coming into the tri-oval once again, Flandre Wilson. You can tell she's looking for an opportunity to attack. She has a bit of a run going through the tri-oval. Gets up into the grip compound just a little bit. Nico Servideo, now he has a pretty decent run going through the corner. This could turn into a 4-way battle for the lead very quickly. Oh, we have pit stops coming up. Oh, Viola almost takes out Nico Servideo. William Viola coming in. Jonathan Salos, Flandre Wilson, Soup Ricer coming in. Carl Childress, Nico Servideo, Victor Delgado, and Arya Carmona are staying out. Carl Childress as well. I don't know if I said his name or not. And everybody... Well, we got 4 cars coming into pit lane here. 4 cars staying out. So now it's time to see Who's going to win this race off pit road? Looks like everybody's getting 4 tires with the exception of Jonathan Salos, unless he just completed his stop really quickly. Flandre Wilson with a lot of trouble there, and it will be Jonathan Salos first off pit road, followed by William Viola, Flandre Wilson, and Supericer, I believe. Yep, there we go. By the way, we are past the halfway mark. Nico Servideo is leading this race, followed by Victor Delgado and Arya Carmona. They should be coming in here very shortly. So with that, they should, in theory, be good on fuel for the rest of the race. I'm not quite sure about tires, but this could very well turn into a fuel mileage race very quickly. So Jonathan Salos has a decent gap over the 71 behind him there. We don't know their gap exactly, but we do know Jonathan Salos should get the lead here when they cycle out. Arya Carmona. You can see her right there, so pretty sure she is the only one that stayed out. At least on this round of pit stops right here. So I'm wondering if she's trying to stretch it. Probably would be a pretty good strategy here if it works. There's no way she's already pitted. But she is losing a ton of speed right now. She does end up conceding the lap cars here, so she's still in the lead here, but Jonathan Salos, William Viola, and Flandre Wilson will unlap themselves here. They're within mere milliseconds of each other here. So that number 4 car will be the one to watch here. I think Arya's going to come in this time. I definitely think Arya's going to come in this time. Jonathan Salos. Now, okay, I just got through saying they were really spread out. Now it seems like they just got themselves back in like a can of sardines once again. Feast your eyes on this, because this is probably going to be the only time you see Carl Childress leading the race in his DSRA career. So enjoy the lead while you can, Carl. Victor Delgado is currently a lap down. Arya Carmona having a little bit of trouble getting into her stall here. Carl Childress, looks like he's dropping down. Looks like he is going to come into pit road this time by. So they should be good. Carl Childress and Arya Carmona right now have the most security toward the end of the race. Should these guys underestimate their pit strategy here? Jonathan Salos will most likely be leading us here unless William Viola can make a move. Childress in the pit road. And would you look at that? It will be the 4 leading them here. But here comes the 71. Viola capitalizing off Jonathan Salos' mistake there going on the corner exit. Flandre Wilson drops to the bottom. The 71 drops in underneath the 4 again here. Here comes the 23 of Flandre Wilson. The Scottish Sabre looking for the lead. She'll have to back off a little bit, go through the corner. Viola on the outside. This is a 3-way battle for first place. 14 to go here in Michigan. And what a race this has been thus far here. William Viola, Flandre Wilson, Jonathan Salos, all battling for the lead. And that Rocket League Dodge rocketing here to first place. Will he be able to keep it there, though? He's led quite a bit of laps since that pit cycle. Flandre Wilson toward the back bumper of the 71. She'll drift up to the racetrack here. 71 will go up to block her. I don't know if that was intentional or if he got a little tight going through the corner. Or maybe a mixture of both. William Viola there on the bottom. Don't really have any other battles to speak of. Now here comes the 71. He's going to get another opportunity here, but that doesn't exactly mean Just because he has a run doesn't mean that it's going to stick here as they go through the corner. Right now he's a little bit off from the 4 car heading into turn 3. Right now that Rocket League Dodge looking pretty quick thus far, though. He's had to... I mean, he's got to be using up his tires here. This could potentially be what decides the race here later on. Here they are entering turn number 2. 71 on the bottom. He's got him right where he wants him going into the turn, and he will clear the 4 car going onto the back straightaway. Flandre Wilson will not benefit from that. She is still stuck behind the 4. It's like being stuck behind a slow car in the interstate. And now she'll move into second place. Side by side, Flandre Wilson and Jonathan Salos. Salos will take second place back from Flandre Wilson, so that battle didn't last long. Now he's looking to take first back from the leader. 11 to go here in Michigan. They got a long way to go. 22 miles here to decide the winner. That's basically a halfway trip between me and the next town to the north. That's about the distance they have to battle here. William Viola continues to hold on to the lead. The entire pack still strung out. The closest battle we have right now, other than that lead pack, is Victor Delgado and Aria Carmona. So far been a pretty dull race, although I think that's what you get when you have only 8 cars on the track. And for a DSRA race, fingers crossed, this has been caution-free. We are not going to count those restart attempts. This has been, since that last restart attempt, this has been caution-free. You wouldn't be able to tell that by the way this race started. 9 to go here in Michigan. The battle still rages on. Flandre Wilson, I think she's waiting for the right moment to attack here. When we get into about the 5 laps to go territory, these guys are going to start getting a lot more aggressive. We might see a last lap pass, but I'm not going to promise anything. And these 2007 cars putting on a decent show here toward the end. Whoa! Jonathan Salos almost door slammed to 23 there. Kind of had to give her a little bit more room than he probably could afford there, but he'll stay in the second place for now. The 23 going to try the pass on the high side by side. It's going to be a drag race here when they get to the back straightaway. She's going to have to try and side draft it, but that 4's got that draft off of the 71 car, so this 4 car probably going to have the advantage here. Flandre Wilson will be forced back into third place. I don't think she wants a top 3 right now. I think she wants the win. She is not happy being on the bottom step of the podium. That is if this were an F1 or a sports car race. Flandre Wilson. Now she's got the draft off William Viola. 71 cars led the most laps today. Right now he is in a very good position. As long as Flandre and... Oh, Jonathan Salos into the wall. This might be a good opportunity for the 23. Flandre Wilson on the bottom, and she will clear the 4. But the 4 will try and come on back on the bottom. We got smoke. I don't know who that was from, but Flandre Wilson battling side by side, 6 to go. William Viola has to defend them both now. This has got to be a challenge for the 71 here. He's making it look easy out there, but we all know, I know from experience, this is not a fun situation to be in when you have 2 people trying to grab at your position at once here. Every driver knows that this is not a fun place to be in. Flandre Wilson, I don't know why she's not trying to work with that 4 to get up to the lead here, but maybe she can't. Five laps to go here at the Michigan International Speedway here in the Ally 400. Jonathan Salos going for the lead here if he can. Flandre Wilson, she's been in this situation before. Ended up with a wrecked race car and hurt feelings. 4 laps to go here in the Irish Hills. 8 miles left in the Ally 400. They've been in this situation before. The 71 has had to battle quite a bit in Watkins Glen. Now he has to fight like hell to keep this win going on here in Michigan. Looking for 2 in a row here in the DSRA. Here in the penultimate round of the season. Flandre Wilson now into 3rd place. She's still looking. She's still hungry for the position. 3 to go here in Michigan. Now watch the 4 and the 71. I'm not quite sure about the 23 yet, but those 2 cars up here in the front. Watch if they can make a move here. They're going to try and be... You're going to see a lot of aggressive driving here in these last couple laps. Nico Servideo and Soup Ricer look like they might be trying to have a battle here. Flandre Wilson carries a lot of momentum here going into the turn. She'll have to slide up the racetrack and into the grip compound, and she will stay out of the wall, but she did lose a little bit of time there. 2 to go. Jonathan Salos now has to turn on every single jet he has. He wants that win, and he wants it bad. And I have a feeling he might hook that 71 in the wall if push comes to shove. On the back straightaway. Approximately 3 miles to go here. Number 71 car gets loose coming off the apron. This might be an opportunity for the 4. Coming into the tri-oval. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. This is the finish the fans came and stayed for. It's brewing here in Michigan. 1 mile to go as they enter the back straightaway. Keep in mind this is the same distance as Dover Motor Speedway. He's got only a couple corners to go. He's got to make a move. He's sticking middle. William Viola on the bottom. Here they are coming into turn number 4. William Viola moving up the racetrack. William Viola, here they come into the tri-oval. William Viola will win at Michigan. Jonathan Salos 2nd, Flandre Wilson 3rd, Nico Servideo 4th, and Soup Ricer 5th. What a finish. What a finish. Aria Carmona was out of the race, by the way. She is retired from the race. Carl Childress will finish last of the active drivers. Good old Carl. Let's see if William burns it down for a back-to-back win here in the Dualshock Racing Association. This might be a good camera angle, actually. Is he going to do more? I guess he's just taking a victory lap at this point. Unless he's going to burn out in front of the fans over here. Man, this track has some good camera angles for these burnouts. And he will burn it down a second time here in Michigan. William Viola wins at Michigan here in the Ally 400. I'm afraid it's a little bit too late for a championship push. Let me save this just in case. I need to delete some of those replays, dude. Let's take a look at your finishing order here, brought to you by Sunoco Fueling Victories. William Viola wins here at Michigan, followed by Jonathan Salos and Flandre Wilson. 100th of a second there for Jonathan Salos. Unfortunately, was not able to get it. Nico Servideo, 4th. Supericer, 5th. Victor Delgado, 3rd. And Carl Childress rounds out the finishing field in 7th. Unfortunately, Arya Carmona and George Oriarde did not finish this race. George Oriarde had a crash earlier in the race that took him out, which is unfortunate. Coming up tomorrow, the SCRAL from Sonoma, as the SCRAL 90s cars will take a right turn at the Sonoma Sonoma Raceway wine country, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching today's race. This has been the DSRA on PRN. Coming up tomorrow, once again, SCRAL. Probably not going to be able to stream on Wednesday because I do not know if George's new Assetto Corsa series starts. By the way, if you're in the DSRA server, you probably should check that out. If you have Assetto Corsa and if you have the Mazda RX-5 thing, it's part of the Japanese pack with the DLC and blah blah blah. There's a lot. It's $12 right now for all the Assetto Corsa DLC as of the recording of this, which is July 10th, 2023. So get it. It's $12. It's worth it. The deluxe edition, I believe, is like $15 right now. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been your head commentator, Nicholas Koskin, and congratulations to William Viola on his win today. We will see you guys tomorrow for the SCRAL at Sonoma.